I'm going to check the apples just to see how they're doing. You see how actually it's a high simmer. I can lower it a little bit. The apples are starting to get tender, certainly the ones on the bottom. That little bit of water I put in there seems like a lot more because you've got the juices from the apple. But the nice thing is because you're cooking it with the skins will give a rosy color to your applesauce, and they will also add natural pectin to your applesauce, so it will thicken up when it chills instead of needing to use sugar to make it thicker. So we'll keep it covered. Okay, and then let's go and make our latkes. Turn on my pan. I always turn on the pan first for about 15 seconds. You think that oil will coat the pan and that's what's going to, and is a liquid, but the truth is if you put cold oil into a cold pan, it will start to stick to the pan, and that will cause problems later on when your food starts to stick to the oil or it's harder to clean the pan. So I'm heating up my pan a little bit, and then I'm going to add oil. Now I know you don't like to hear just add oil, but I don't know what size frying pan or griddle you're using. So what I've done here is I've taken my larger pan. Sometimes when I'm making it for a crowd, I have 2 griddles going at once. So I'm going to add I'm going to definitely coat the bottom of the pan. And this was oil I have used before and strained and is perfectly good. So don't get so excited about, oh my goodness, well, I'm wasting all this oil. And you can always, oh, it smells good. It almost smells like the state fair. Okay, that's a piece of dough. Okay. So you see it's starting to make lines, and that's good. That means it's heating up. Now, depending on the size of the latke you want to make, if you're serving them as appetizers, portions, maybe with like blinis, you can use a tablespoon to make little ones. I prefer to not stand in the kitchen the whole entire time making latkes, so I use 1/4 cup measuring cup. Okay, and that didn't sizzle as much as I would like, so I'm going to wait a little longer. That's better. Now I hear my latke talking to me. By the way, look at the color of the latke mixture. It is not discolored. It is snowy yellow white. I don't mind it being a little bit raggedy on the edges. That makes it crispy, but this gives some shape to the latke. Do not overcrowd your latkes. In this case, they're big. I would do no more than 6. Now I see a little liquid coming, collecting on the bottom of the pan, the bowl, so I just stir it around. If for some reason you're a little slow in making your latkes and you find you have a little bit more water at the bottom than you need, you can add a little bit more matzo meal. But remember, matzo meal absorbs moisture, so you have to give it a few minutes to thicken up the mixture. There you go. So now we've got it fairly at medium-high. I'm using my spatula. I can dip it in oil, so I touch the top here. And let's wait until we start to see it getting golden brown. Okay, when you see that they're golden on the bottom, you can flip them over. Now, if you have difficulty because your pan's too big, just use your spatula or another spoon, and it will flip over easily without splattering oil all over your kitchen. Now, if you love the smell of latkes cooking, then you will love this recipe because the kitchen smells great right now. However, I know somebody who makes their latkes outside on their grill because they don't like to smell up the house. I love to smell up the house. When they're golden brown on the other side, you're going to take it and you are going to put your latkes on paper, drain them on paper towel. However, you're not going to put layer upon layer upon layer of paper towel. Take your paper towels and scrunch them. By doing that, you create more surface area. I only have 6 paper towels here, but I have lots of area that will absorb the oil. if I laid the 6 towels flat on top of each other, as soon as I put one down, it would leak through all the way to the 6. So, okay, let's see how we're doing. Nope, it's still a little light. Turn up the heat a little bit, but not too much. Let's take a quick peek at our apples. Because our apples, I think, are just about done. Look at that. See how soft they are? Now, if you have a food mill, what I'm about to do is very easy. But you also notice that just by pressing down with a fork, most of the skin comes off. So if you wait for it to be cold and you don't have a food mill, you can absolutely do this by hand without any problem. So I'm going to turn the heat off here. Put the lid in the sink. And then, here's my bowl, and here's my food mill. And I'm going to take my slotted spoon, so that I don't burn myself. And I'm going to put the apples in here. Cinnamon stick comes out. It's the other reason I use the slotted spoon. Now I can pour the rest. And I might not use all of the liquid, but what I'll do is I'll pour it through first. There we go. And actually that's not a lot. See, it looked like a lot of liquid. Do you see? But all of that will solidify. And I just turn. And I have it on the medium. Actually, I'm going to save some of this liquid. If you have a baby at home, this is the quickest, easiest way to make good, nutritious applesauce for them without it costing a fortune. And you can get organic apples if you choose. Now it looks like it's watery there, but you can see the top is already been mashed down. And I have a lot of apples here. I think I have 6 or 7 apples. There we go. We're almost at the bottom. I'm going to reverse to make sure I have the openings. You could use a coarser blade, but I like to have smooth applesauce. Well, not smooth, it still has some consistency to it. I think that's good enough for us now. You see, bottom is all here. It's all adhered. Now this looks thin, but it will thicken because of the pectin from the skin. Okay, let's go back to our latkes. They're just about ready. Look at this. How golden can you get? I take it, and this last side, don't flip them over. You want the side that was in the oil last. Just put them on your paper towel. Whoop. Okay. Now, stir this up a little bit because you see some of the liquid came in. That's because of all the salt too. Just stir it around. Look, lo and behold, no water at the bottom of the bowl anymore. And I'll make another batch. And then we can serve the first batch. So here you have your finished golden latkes that are not thin, they're not gray, they're substantial, and your wonderfully fresh homemade applesauce. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday season.